What's good, y'all? You already know what it is. These women are wilding again. Shout out to the Poor Man Podcast for the video. We got a panel of women confused as to why men are exiting the dating scene. Alrighty, like, comment, subscribe to your boy for more videos like this, and let's see what they talking about.
Ran into an interesting clip of Dr. Drew being the only man on a panel full of women, and they're discussing why men don't want to pursue women anymore and why men don't want to pursue relationships anymore. And I just thought that this was super interesting. They drop a bunch of truth bombs. This one gets better as it goes, so make sure you guys stick around and watch the full thing.
It turns out that, thanks to Anna pointing this out to me, that there is strong emerging evidence Gen Z is indeed less sexually active, dating less compared to previous generations.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on, guys?
So many things.
Okay, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. But first, let me set it up and give you the deets. Okay, what's going on? So
can we go past can we go over?
We can if you can,
Yeah,
Doc.
I go over. Yeah.
So there have now been multiple studies indicating that
big topic.
young men, and I'm talking about the ages
Can we
when
do
they're
it
like.
point by point?
Okay, so young men are having less sex. I wonder what would happen if they did the study with young women. I doubt that young women are having less sex.
These things
That's
up. Can I
true.
address them as you bring
Sure,
them up?
sure.
'Cause
So let
each
me-
of these things have layers to them.
They
Let's
do,
go.
they do.
Young
So,
men.
I'm gonna
young
give
men
you-
first. Let's talk about them.
We're going to talk about young men first, and
okay.
this has to do with their sexual activity.
Yes.
So
You need to define young so we can.
Yes, I am.
Good point.
So let me do it uninterrupted so I
Okay,
can get it
sorry.
out. Okay. So Indiana University, for instance, did a study, and they found in their study of men between the ages of 18 to 24. So we're talking about the time when they really want to get it on, usually, right?
Yes.
Only one in 3 of them reported no sexual activity in the past year. 1 in 3.
Yeah.
So 1/3 of young men in that age group, no sex at all.
Yeah.
And I want to know why.
What's the comparison?
Because the top 10%, the top 20 or 10% are getting all of the women. So all of the
Yeah.
women, I guarantee you, if you took the average in terms of how many men on average women are sleeping with, it's going to be higher than the average for men now. And it's because it's all skewed towards the top.
Comparison point. Like what happened
What were
20
they
years
normal?
ago?
What was the
Yeah, 20 years ago, what was the rate?
I don't know
I
the
promise
comparison
you it's
rate.
higher 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior, the study is the first to include such a comprehensive assessment of diverse sexual behaviors. The information came from U.S. participants ages 14 to 49 during 2009.
14 to 49.
Yeah.
2009.
Between 2009 and 2018. So this is a long-term study that they did.
So, and by the way, it's worse since COVID.
Yes.
COVID
Okay.
made it worse.
completely.
Yes. So there have been other studies showing that this was even more pronounced
Yeah.
after COVID.
What's the mechanism there?
Really, before you go,
Many.
doctor, can I just say one quick thing?
Please.
I blame feminism. Listen, Tinder just put out a height filter. What I can say about
Shout out to this girl, and I don't know where her accent's from. I'll leave it to the international girl to set the record straight.
this
Girl,
dating
that is
market.
Yeah, where's our weight filter? If women can judge men by height, then why can't we judge women by weight? Where's the weight filter, Tinder?
Feminism.
For real. So, yeah, poor man nailed it earlier about the top guys getting all the girls. Because if women are filtering out men based off height, we already know they're wanting 6 foot and higher. I think it's only like 15 or 17% of men are 6 feet or higher. So from right there, they're already just focusing on the top 15% of all guys. And so that just answered our question.
Women hating on the short kings is not
But
feminism.
women believing that they should be empowered enough that they can create their own custom-built men, that they deserve everything, don't need to work for anything, whereas men, they need to build up their income, their body,
Right.
their physique,
Their height.
their
Right, she's
personal
going on.
development. Apparently, that's the one thing they
killing
can't
it.
build up, right? This dating
against that,
market is
though.
totally
Not
rigged
against
for
them doing
women.
that.
And I think that's why guys aren't getting
But
laid.
Benny Johnson said this to me, and then I'm going to stop talking because I definitely want to hear from Dr. Drew. But he's like, the world was a better place when men had a harder time seeing boobs. And I kind of wonder.
Well, that's only somewhat true. Because I guarantee you now, if men weren't sedated to the degree that they are with porn, video games, and parasocial relationships, there are a lot of men that would have started getting, a little murdery. So the fact that young men are being sedated about all of these things, I do think that it contributes to a bad effect in terms of men wanting to pursue relationships, of course, because they're less incentivized to get up and do the things they need to do. But also, it is sedating them in a way because their lack of access to women isn't because they're not doing the things necessary. It's just because not enough women actually want to pursue relationships and family. And plus, all of the dating is happening on dating apps where you're judging people more based on how they look. So because like 70% of new relationships happen from dating apps where it's so superficial and you're only choosing people based on how they look, 20% of men are getting all of the options with the women, and now the women are complaining because this small percentage of men aren't settling down with them. And so they're dating all the same men and then complaining about those men. And they think that the opportunities that the small minority of men have, all men have those opportunities, and that's just not true. The fact of the matter is women have too high of standards because they have inflated egos because of too much engagement on social media. If I didn't have to do anything and I woke up every morning to 30 messages telling me I'm beautiful and I'm perfect just the way I am, I would start to believe it too, to be honest. And now it's to the point that even average women look down on average men and they think that they deserve this small minority of top men. Yeah, so porn is definitely
Yeah, another thing too is some of these girls, maybe the 4, 5, 6s and stuff like that, they might get one night stands with those top guys, and then they start to think that they can pull them in terms of getting a relationship with them. And then of course they learn the hard way that that's not the case. They can't differentiate between a hookup and this person wants to be in a relationship with me. They cannot differentiate at all. And then they're super butthurt that these top 20% guys, 15% guys don't want to get in a relationship with them. I mean, why would they? When they got a roster of girls that are down to just have no strings attached or just be casual. Why in the world would they get in a relationship with one girl where they can casually have 5? It's a no-brainer.
issue. It doesn't help that young men can see more tits than King Solomon without putting in any effort. But it's kind of also the solution too, because if those young men didn't have those things to sedate them, they would probably,
Anyway, okay,
My bad.
That's another layer to it. That their men are just okay.
Too much porn.
So let me just,
that is my question.
Let me quickly clarify the study, okay? Because it wasn't a long-term study. My bad, I misread this. So they did the study in 2009, and then they did the same study in 2018. Yes. So to compare. And this is what they write. So they say, compared to adult participants in the 2009 survey, adults in the 2018 group were significantly more likely to report no penile vaginal intercourse in the prior year, the researchers found. Study participants were also significantly less likely to report engaging in any other sexual behaviors, such as oral sex or, other things.
Anything. Yeah.
All modes of past year partnered sex were reported by fewer in the 2018 cohort. So it is a growing problem.
Yeah. And so we know birth rates are plummeting, right? So people are not forming pairs, they're not falling in love, they're not having sexual encounters. There's some data that shows that the apps are leaving a 5 or 10% zone of men that are having lots of sex.
right.
And they're the ones that
Super
are
users.
super users, and they're actually hurting people. They're hurting.
No, it's not a super user. It's not because they're on the apps 24/7. It's because all the girls are lining up for them.
Women, and women are. I hear a lot from women. Where are the men?
But women are the ones enabling them. That's the issue. So women will tell men that we need to hold other men accountable for doing negative things towards women, but women will be the ones that will go out of their way to date these men. Let's take, for example, Future. Future has 9 different baby mothers. That means
gosh.
you
I
got
didn't
one
know
sexually irresponsible man. That is Future. I'll grant you that. He shouldn't be doing
insane.
that. But then what about the 8 women who signed up to be with Future after he already had a baby mom?
How does this dude have any money left? That's insane. I didn't know he had 9 baby BMs.
But he wasn't with actively his first kid. So you have one sexually irresponsible man and you have 8 sexually irresponsible women, and nobody holds those women responsible for being sexually irresponsible. So the women who complain about this small minority of men are the ones that enable them by dating them. If women said that we will only give sex to men that are good fathers, men would have to become good fathers in order to have sex. But it just seems to me that women would rather share the top men that they complain about than have an average man that loves them. Of course, not all women, but this is only the women that have been deluded into believing that they can have everything. And that number of women is rising by the day. Women have fought for body autonomy, right? So how are men supposed to hold other men accountable when women are using their body autonomy to sleep with those men? What are we supposed to do? So I would argue that there are far more sexually irresponsible women than there are sexually irresponsible men, because most men don't even have the options to be sexually irresponsible.
Yeah, exactly. I know so many girls who think that all men are cheaters and all men are players. And yeah, they can't even comprehend that most guys are incapable of even doing all that. A lot of guys are struggling to even pull one girl, let alone having a roster. But they're just so used to dealing with the top 10, top 15% of guys that they think that those are all guys.
You have vilified being a man. You have vilified it. I have been around the Gen Z and the millennials for quite some time. And what I saw was men fearful of being seen as toxic or trying to rape. They just withdrew. And if you, God help you, if you offer a girl a beer,
I'll take the beer.
I would too.
I'm a married woman.
I have a friend that got kicked out of 2 bars in New York for buying women drink. 2 different bars.
Are you serious?
It's considered predatory.
Wow.
So men are scared shitless. They don't know what to do. Then because they're withdrawing so much, they first of all don't feel worth. They're being told they're not worthwhile. They're particularly young white men are told they're bad, they're evil, they're the source of all problems. Yep. And they don't develop the skills necessary to
communicate.
communicate,
so sad.
to determine what they want to do. And they turn to porn.
I was going to ask you
and
that.
the porn gives them unrealistic expectations about everything.
Oh, yeah.
And they sort of take the
Parasocial
position like, I'm
relationships.
fine, I got my porn, I'm fine. And for the first time, I did a show called After.
I don't know about the unrealistic expectation part, but I think it would just make them lazy. Because then they're not going to go out and try to holler at girls, not going to try to pull girls when they can just go on a screen.
After Dark for a few years over at your mom's house. And I started hearing about, from young men, something I had not heard all these decades talking to young men, the use of prostitutes. They were starting to turn to prostitutes.
That's crazy.
Because they had no other options.
And not only that, but OnlyFans, because OnlyFans, especially in today's generation, young women are literally getting excited to turn 18 so they can create an OnlyFans. Because
that breaks my
they are
heart.
seeing other women out there portray this lifestyle. And you know why they're oftentimes portraying it? Because there are affiliate programs attached to OnlyFans where if you recruit other women, you make
like a pyramid scheme.
off of
No,
what
that's
they make.
terrible.
It's a pyramid scheme for
Whoa,
parents.
I didn't even know that.
The
That's crazy.
The prostitution
I have the
aspect
answer
is becoming
to
more
that
and more
Dang, I didn't know that either. Holy crap.
normalized. And it's not just that. They're not only buying these women's pictures, but then their managers are messaging them, building parasocial relationships with these men.
The parasocial relationship thing is
sick.
huge.
Very
It's
damaging.
sick.
So Dr. Drew, one last question, because I hear you in regard to culture and how that's changed and how that impacts, relationships in America. I am also curious about the impact of social media and how increasingly people aren't actually meeting with their friends in real life, communicating
all that.
communicating
All of it.
face to face.
Yeah.
So when you don't
100%.
have that, there's like a difficulty in communicating when you're trying to, seduce someone into
All
a
of it
relationship.
speaks-
Another part of the issue is there's been such a focus on consent, and women are complaining that men aren't approaching them, but approaching somebody in and of itself is unconsensual. Women have been complaining and saying that they don't want to be approached for the past 30 years, and now men are saying, okay, I'll just DM you instead. And plus,
Yeah, but the problem is though that they do want to get approached. They're also on these. There's also a bunch of women on videos complaining that men aren't approaching anymore. Here's the thing: they just want to get approached by those top 10%, 15% of guys. That's what they want. They just don't want to get approached by regular, average guys.
easier. Women are realizing that it's hard to approach. It's hard to walk across the room and spark up a conversation with a random stranger. And so women aren't going to do it because it is hard. This is another part of chivalry that women killed, and now there's nothing to fill that void.
Experience, no skill.
Right.
I remember back in the 90s, I used to be, the hookup culture was the big thing. And I kept saying, you're not happy doing this, I can tell, because you're always drunk when you do it.
Right.
And I was advocating dating, where you just sit down, enjoy time with somebody, learn who you are, learn who to break bread, whatever. Don't have all these expectations on every time you go out with somebody. That needs to come back again. That people need to hang out in person, in flesh with people a lot, and just enjoy that. And develop a skill and start to figure out who you are, what you want, and who other people are. But this vilification of the young male has gone out of control, and they're pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm worried when they come out of it that they're.
I have a confession.
Adam said
like
the same thing.
A big confession. Okay, so look, every woman is different. So I don't speak for all women.
You don't.
I
Why
don't.
not? Come on.
But I also have a problem with like some women, who have engaged in that, rhetoric in regard to men, kind of speaking on my behalf, because
I see what
I'll just talk about my preference. My preference is masculine men, like traditionally masculine men. That's what I'm just attracted to. I can't explain why.
I am really surprised that Anna has this take. If you guys don't know who Anna is, she's a big time like left wing political commentator on a big show called TYT, The Young Turks. So I'm really surprised that she is traditional in that sense, where she wants a really, really masculine man. And I mean, she's just being honest about it. Pretty much all women do. Like they're fronting when they say they want this like soft, feminine dude who's in touch with his emotions and his feelings. They're not attracted to that guy. They cheat on that guy. They treat that guy like Akash Singh. You know, they want a big, strong dude who can protect them and can lead them. That's what they want. It's obvious. It's common sense.
Just is what it is. So this like push to make men meek is unfair to women who don't want meek men either, right?
It's also very dangerous too, just for like society, like American society, because I promise you, these other countries, like no country in Africa is pushing their men to be soft. No one in Russia or China or North Korea. And like what we as Americans got to understand is that we are a part of this world, and we're going to have to interact with the rest of the world. So we can't be teaching our men to be soft, feminine, and weak, while every other country is teaching their men to be hard, tough, strong, resilient, hard workers. No.
Women who truly want that,
Very
Dr.
few
Drew.
people
In fact,
want
from
that.
an evolutionary perspective,
Does
the
it make sense?
masculine guy
Right.
thing, I remember
Like
seeing
if I'm on a
little study-
train or if I'm on the metro and there's someone who's threatening my safety and there's a bunch of men there and they just kind of sit back and let it happen, that's a freaking problem in
But
society.
the thing is,
That's right.
there's a huge demographic, to your point, who does celebrate wife guys, right? Like, remember how they elevated Doug Emhoff because he was all feminine and happy to be behind Kamala Harris? Do you remember that?
Well, they
type
do
of
it
thing?
for women
no one's
too,
hot for
though.
Doug Emhoff,
they,
though,
what
in
I
real
mean
life.
is,
That's the kind of man
That's a
one-
psyop, Doug.
Bro, leave it to a girl talk show. Just have like 4 women talking at once. I can't even hear what anybody's saying. Yeah, I gotta take turns.
Emhoff.
I mean, look
You
at
know,
look
no
at
one is hot for Doug
That's not
Emhoff.
what I'm
No, they're not hot for him, but they'll cheer him on because women love weak men that they can use.
to get your. I want to bring a medical component into this,
Okay.
and that's the use of Propecia and finasteride.
Yep.
I was going to ask you that.
is that
Could it
birth
be
control?
plummeting
So-
testosterone levels?
So
hair stuff.
here are the
Right.
It
things.
blocks androgens, which I let the doctor do
So
this.
Propecia and all these medicines do drop testosterone.
And millions of men
And they
are on
drop
it.
libido.
Yep.
And in about 20% of cases, it never comes back.
Oh God.
Damn.
So when that was documented about 10 years ago, I had to call all my patients on Propecia and say, "Do you still want to continue?" Most of them did.
But
I would.
what about
I've never heard of that medicine. What is it curing? What is it treating? That you're that you're exchanging your test for it.
this?
So-
What about this piece
It never
too?
comes back?
There were
20%.
some reports
10,
that when
20%.
women take birth
Hold on, hold
control,
on.
it
Also,
actually alters the type
it
of
can
men
go-
that they are attracted
Or-
to. They are attracted to
Yep.
more beta,
Yep.
Or it
feminine
drops their
males.
sex
Yep,
drive.
even Jordan Peterson talked about this a while ago. He was talking about the effects of birth control on women, and he was talking. The women were shown men when they were on their birth control, and women were attracted to the man that had a smaller jaw. And usually, your jawline is linked to your testosterone levels in some kind of weird way, in some big brain Jordan Peterson way where he explained it. But the jawline was associated with your testosterone levels. When women were on the pill or on some type of birth control, they were more likely to be attracted to the guy that had a small jaw. So think something like Timothy Charlemagne. I've even seen some articles calling it rat face. Take it from a woman. We want rat faces and dad bods. This is because so many women are on birth control. And there's even been more reports.
Yeah, but the problem is they don't know what a dad bod is though. They think a dad bod is sebum in the off season. They think a dad bod is just a uber jack dude with a ton of mass and just not a 6-pack, because they consider a 6-pack as like obsessive, like, oh, he's got a 6-pack, he's gonna be tracking his calories all the time, weighing out his food, he's never gonna want to go out to eat, he's not gonna want to drink, he's not gonna want to snack, he's not gonna have ice cream in the house, he's gonna be at the gym 24/7. That's what they think. And so what they want is someone who has like a flat stomach that doesn't have the abs showing and just ginormous arms, like 26-inch arms, crazy shoulders, huge traps. That's what they think a dad bod is. They think it's Bane. I don't know Bane's real name, but they think it's Bane, and then the guy who plays Superman, Like, come on.
Of women saying that once they got off birth control because they wanted to be with this guy for the long term and started to have kids, they became not attracted to that guy anymore because when they got off birth control, they started to be attractive to more masculine.
Track women through their ovulation cycle, and you show them a picture of a man, same man, and you do nothing but vary his jaw width. When they're ovulating, the guy with the wider jaw is more attractive, and when they're not ovulating, the farthest away from that, the guy with the thinner jaw is more attractive, and that's associated with testosterone levels. Women who are fertile like more masculine men, and basically, if you're on the pill, then you're never in that ovulation phase. And so one thing that may have happened, and I don't know this for sure, but it's interesting to consider, is that since women have been taking the birth control pill, their preference for less masculine men has become more pronounced. And that could easily be one of the things that's fueling at least some of the tension that's existed and exists now politically between men and women.
How to fix this finasteride problem? I need to know.
Hair transplants. Get off the finasteride.
No, but what if they're against it? Trust me, I've gone down
You
this
can't do the TRT because
Okay, so that medicine helps them get their hair back or maybe slow down hair loss. I see.
they go bald. You see, if they have a problem, then you do TRT, but they will go further bald.
I've researched this extensively, and one solution that was presented was topical finasteride. But what if they have hair currently?
So the high dose Rogaine with finasteride and a steroid is a very effective topical agent. Some of it is absorbed still, but that is an alternative.
But you have a bigger problem with crashing testosterone, and we don't know why.
Well,
and
it's all the above. Plus,
we do. Men are their sleep is horrible. They're not in the gym. They're not doing active stuff like playing sports during the week. Be in some type of league. Be in a men's basketball league. Go hiking on the weekends. Get off the game. Get off from in front of the TV. Go outside. Hang out with other boys. Hit the gym. Hit the gym again. And hit the gym some more. And you'll be fine.
Obesity.
Obesity's a
testosterone
problem,
down, estrogen up.
Exactly. It's common sense. Eat healthy. Track your calories. Get in the habit of being able to eat well. And you'll be fine.
Yep.
There's so many reasons our testosterone levels are down. We need to get back. Resistance training is part of our daily life. Everybody.
Yes.
And it just we're unhealthy.
Dr.
Stress,
You're
weight
referring
management,
to-
lower body training.
Yes.
You and I would agree
naturally.
100% on this.
There's also another issue with women being on hormonal birth control, and it is that when they pee, it stays in the water source. The estrogens that they emit when they pee, it stays in the water source, and it can't be taken out by any methods that we know of so far. So even our water supply, microplastics, not getting enough sleep because you up on your cell phone all night, not resistance training, being obese, it's made it so that sperm count is down 60% in men, and the average male testosterone has dropped 1% per year since 1987, I believe it was. So a man today, on average, will have about 30 to 40% less testosterone than a man that's 25 in 1987.
Just because, HIPAA and all that, all the good stuff. So, so I'm going to pull out your test results. Again, I don't usually do house calls, but actually your test results are a little alarming. So normally you want to say...
I don't ever want a doctor to describe anything I have as alarming. This is crazy. 118. Oh my gosh. I mean, I've never gotten mine tested, but no. Yikes.
Between like 500 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter for your testosterone. You're pretty low. You're at 118. You want to be about 500. So you're pretty low. So that low energy that you're feeling probably they're going off.
You're referring to post-finasteride syndrome, correct?
Yes.
And you're saying it's incurable, so basically their libido is gone forever.
In a limited
but for that 20%, you're saying there's
20%.
nothing that can be done.
That's what some data came out with about 10 years ago.
That's devastating news. Like for humanity, the fact that millions of men are on it.
No, you can put that person on testosterone and other things and override it, but then they'll go further bald. Oh, God. And so,
wow. But basically, these men are, let me be clear what's happening here. These American men, and they're choosing their hair over sex, is what they're choosing.
The ones that stayed on Propecia in my practice were not noticing a drop in their sex drive. They didn't notice it. So it doesn't mean everybody has a significant drop in testosterone.
Listen,
but it's
girl.
common.
Vanity is
That's
a
important.
powerful thing, and I get it. I'm vain. I don't
There's so
mind
many
admitting
things
I'm
they can do,
vain.
though.
If like, oh, you're not gonna have a healthy.
It's healthy for
You're not
you
gonna
to
have
want
like the
to
best
care
sex
for your
drive,
body.
but you're gonna look 10 years younger. Give it to me. I want it.
Yeah, but that's not how men are supposed to behave. Men aren't supposed to put their vanity over their health. That's insane. That's like a
Right, and especially too since when it comes to hair, I'm guessing they want to keep their hair so they can pull more girls because they don't want to go bald. So the irony of holding on to your hair at the expense of your sex drive is contradictory and an oxymoronic.
women thing. Really, nobody should do that, but some people do choose to do that. So yeah, guys.
Yeah, crazy, crazy. Well, yeah, I find it very, very funny that just these doctors are coming out and just putting like scientific phrases and concepts and wording to the stuff that's just been discussed for however many years now, and kind of the manosphere.